everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. This week I went to see GodzillaxKong, The New Empire, which I was able to see in IMAX 3D, which was awesome. There's only one IMAX 3D screening a day, but I was like, I'm going to make a point of seeing this because regular 3D might be good, but IMAX 3D will be better because this is the kind of movie that you want to see on as big a screen as possible. And it was great. The visuals were fantastic. I had a great seat. The screen was filling my frame of vision, and it was just craziness all around. And it was great. Very enjoyable. Because the movie itself is, it is what it is. It's not, it's no Godzilla -1. Let's just say that. If you liked Godzilla vs. Kong, you will like this as well, because it is more of the same insane sci-fi crazy nonsense in the hollow earth in the center of the planet and all that nonsense. It's interesting that it's still called Godzilla Kong, because Godzilla's, he must have it in his contract that his name gets to come first in the title, because this is primarily a Kong movie. Godzilla is, it's not that he's not really in it, but he's sort of like a side thing until the big grand finale climactic kaiju fight. The other thing I wish we could get rid of is the people. They thankfully got rid of the two kids from the last one, including Millie Bobby Brown, who I just do not like. They did unfortunately keep Brian Tyree Henry. His character continues to try to be funny, except that he's not. So they also added Dan Stevens, who is a kaiju veterinarian, which is just weird, but in keeping with the crazy, wacky sci-fi of these movies. He also tries to be funny. He's slightly more successful, but it's still mostly awkward and just cringe. There are entire sections of this movie that are just Kong having an adventure with no people. So there's no dialogue, no nothing, but you can follow the story, and it's very engaging, and I would like to just see a Kong movie or a kaiju movie with no people, because I think you can get away with it. You can tell the story, and it's fine, because the people are basically in this to either attempt and fail to be funny, or to deliver exposition so that you know what the plot of the movie is, and explaining what is happening, and why Godzilla is doing this, and why Kong is doing that. Also, to its credit, I was very nervous about Baby Kong from the trailer, but he's actually not nearly as irritating as I expected him to be. They actually do a good job of, with the character, because he starts out, as a complete little shit, which is, hilarious, and it's great. So you kind of come to enjoy him over the course of the film, instead of being like, look, isn't he so cute? Which would not have worked. So, okay, I'm not crazy about him, but it's okay. I will tolerate him. So, if you liked Godzilla vs. Kong, you will like GodzillaxKong, The New Empire. Just make sure to see it on as big a screen as possible. And if you like 3D, go for the 3D as well, because it was terrific. Because these are the kind of movies you just want. They're all about the visuals, so you want the visuals to be as impressive as possible. As for games, I'm still playing the same games. I will say that this is the worst time of year for Animal Crossing, because it is Bunny Day. Well, it's not actually, today is actually Bunny Day. I haven't played yet, but the week leading up to Bunny Day is awful, because it's just nonstop eggs everywhere you go. Thankfully, the first year it was awful, because you're trying to fish for the museum, and you keep getting eggs, and it's cut it out. But now, every day, I like to keep my island clean. So I go around and I pick up all the fallen branches and I dig up all the holes in the ground so it looks nice and clean. The problem is that during Bunny Day season, 2 out of 3 of those holes are going to give you an egg, not a fossil. So there's more holes to dig up, and 2 out of 3 of them are useless and annoying, because I've crafted all the bunny shit anyway already. Years ago I did. So I had to force myself to not dig anything up. Just pick up the branches and leave the holes alone, because they're just going to piss you off because it's going to take you extra time and it's going to be annoying because you've got all these eggs. And it was somehow less annoying to force myself to not dig up the holes than it would have been to dig up all those extra eggs and just be annoyed. And weirdly, Disney Dreamlight Valley is also doing something with eggs. They have a whole egg thing going on. At the same time, they're doing the Star Path for Monsters, Inc. still. That's almost over, but now they're doing this egg thing where there's 3 different kinds of eggs, and you get some of them out of bushes, you find some on the ground, and then others you have to craft an egg seed that grows eggs in the ground, like a plant. And then you can combine those to craft things. The thing is that looking in the recipes, I'm just like, none of this is really that good. Like, I crafted all the Animal Crossing stuff because it was kind of fun and you could make like an egg room of furniture and everything. The Disney Dreamlight Valley egg stuff is kind of lame, and I'm just like, I don't really, Like, I made like this big egg decoration and put it outside of my house, and I was just like, what else? Like, I don't care. But yeah, so that was just kind of disappointing. So I'll just collect a bunch of eggs and then call it a day, and probably not actually make too much of the stuff. And then as for Avatar, I am actually even closer to the end of the game than I was last episode, because I had to do the next to last story mission. I was trying not to do the last couple story missions and do all the side quests and errands and things to clean up, because like I said last episode, I want to have as much done as possible before the end of the game, because once the game story comes to an end, I know that I'll be able to continue playing, but then it starts to become just busy work and there's no story to keep you going. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to avoid that, but I did a couple of side quests where you like collected all the kites or you activated all the beacons, and I got the trophies, but I couldn't get the rewards because they're like, oh, you can't finish this quest because you have to progress in the story before you can finish this quest. Because the thing is that everyone was waiting. You were supposed to go to Resistance headquarters and get your reward from a character, but all the characters are all like gathered together for the final battle. So once I activated the next to last quest, it freed up one character so I could get my reward, but I had to do the quest in order to free up the other character to get that reward. And then annoyingly, like, the reward is basically like, oh, here's an armor design. And I'm like, well, that's really helpful. Why don't you just give me the armor? Just give me a piece of armor. But you don't. You get a design, and then you take that design, and then you have to craft it. And then all the really good designs that you're getting at the end of the game that are the best weapons and armor, those take all the, like, best materials, and so, oh, I need an exquisite one of those shells. Great. Where do I get that? And then you have to, like, spend all this time, like, going and gathering the materials, and it's just like, just give me the freaking piece of armor. Don't make me make it myself. It's so annoying. But that's, you know, the annoying thing about this game. So far, my only real problem with it, the leveling and the crafting thing. I don't mind the crafting, but I mind that the crafting is tied to the leveling, so you have to craft. Like, I don't mind crafting systems when it's, like, mostly optional, you know, then it's fine. But I've been trying to clean up everything and do all the miscellaneous stuff and, like, you know, clean up all the RDA facilities, except for there's this one RDA facility, because one of the side quests is, like, clearing the air, it's called, and that's to just take down all of the RDA facilities. And I've got a few left here and there, but then there's one that is its own side quest, because it's like the biggest facility with the most soldiers, and it says you need to be level 20 to attempt it, and I'm like this close to level 20, like this close, but I just need like that extra piece of armor or another skill point or something to help get me over the hump and get me to level 20. Although I could probably still do it at mostly level 20 instead of just level 20, but whatever. But I don't know. I feel like I'm going to end up having to do the final mission and then complete that RDA facility after I've done the final mission. But we'll see. But I am very close to the end of this game. I don't know if there's a lot of still little cleanup to do. So I don't know how long the final mission is going to be. So I'm not sure I'll be finished by next episode. I might be like in the middle of the final mission at the next episode. We shall see. You'll have to come back and find out. But I will be super close, and then I'll be able to start trying to finish Super Mario RPG. Which I'm going to make myself go finish Super Mario RPG, because I was intrigued because I saw the other day that one of the April PlayStation Plus Essential free games is Immortals of Aveum, which I know it didn't get the best reviews, but I thought it looked cool, and I like the idea of an FPS with magic instead of guns. That's kind of cool. So I wanted to give it a try. But I do think that I would finish Super Mario RPG before Immortals of Aveum, because I've played enough Super Mario RPG, I've done a bunch of areas, and I've gotten a good way into it before I realized I could not sustain playing 4 separate games at the same time. I had to knock it down to 3. And with Super Mario RPG, like, the areas themselves aren't too time consuming. There are things in those areas that are like bonus things that you can do to like 100% the area and then ultimately the game. But I'm just getting through the game. I'm not, because there's certain things that you have to do, like find this hidden thing or whatever, like they take platforming skills that I don't necessarily have, so I'm like, never mind. So I'm not going to 100% Super Mario RPG, but I will finish it. And I do think that I'll finish that faster than Immortals of Aveum, because when May comes around, I'm going to really want to get Endless Ocean, and so Immortals of Aveum is probably going to have to wait a bit. We'll see. So come back next episode and see if I've finished Avatar, or probably more likely not, because there's a lot left to do. This planet needs a lot of cleanup. See you then. Bye!